Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Create Expectations. So, if you have not watched part one, you can go to Zara's channel and watch it and like it and do all the fun stuff there where we actually go over a kit for once.
For the first time, for the last time.
Hopefully, not the last time. I don't know. Uh,
It was fine. It was good. Tarful is not bad.
yeah, he's interesting. So, but we won't talk about him here so that people have to go watch your video.
Force, yeah, mandated watching. That's wise. It's good. We need that. More of that. So,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, what are we doing first then?
let's do viewer questions first because we've got a few. We've got four.
All right.
And they're
Let's.
pretty straightforward, but I like them. They've got some good ones in there.
All right.
All right. So the first one is from Christopher Wallace. What is the Hut Cartel relic order to bump up after the requirements are done? So if you're bumping up the whole team, what order would you do them in? Sorry, I almost sneezed.
It's all right. Do you need me to pause so you can sneeze off camera?
No, it's done now. It's gone.
Okay, I can pause anyways.
What is the relic order here?
What's the relic order that you think? Like, what are your thoughts on it? Because I do have a pretty
Um,
specific one, but I want to hear.
I would assume you would do Chrysanthemum first.
Yeah. So
Like you would bump him up to 9 if you want to be real, like have a 200,000 protection for Sandman.
yeah, I mean, he's an absolute unit, man, and like his Omicron. If you're planning on putting an Omicron, like if you're, I just so Jabba at Relic 5 does decently.
Hmm.
Jabba teams at Relic 9/8 are just such a problem.
They're disgusting.
They are, especially now that Afra is not here to bail us out on
Hmm.
Jabba. And like she might be able to beat some of the weaker Hut teams.
Hmm.
I don't know, but she's not here to like she doesn't have that cron anymore, and you don't have the auto delete button with Cat for smuggle or scoundrels
Hmm.
doing the
No
the
revive.
no revive. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, I mean, the fact that he revives himself and he has 300,000 effective hit points before any boosts from Jabba, and before you count any of his armor or anything, like, yeah, Relic 9 on Chrysanthemum is warranted, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
So okay, so you would do him first.
I
And
would
then
get Jabba to 7 first, just to be clear. I think all Galactic
right.
Legends, if you get a Galactic Legend unlocked, you should at least get Jabba to 7, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I was kind of just I probably shouldn't have assumed it. I kind of just assumed that Jabba would be at 7 as your base requirement.
Sure.
Um okay, so Chrysanthemum goes to 9. And then would you do Leia next? Boosh?
Well, she's so obnoxious. Like, if especially if you put some good gear on her, or not well, not gear, but relic levels, of course, but then a lot of good modding, and she just wrecks people. Like at relic 8, she is just so crazy strong. Like every once in a while, you're just yeah. She takes so many turns and does so many crazy things, and yeah, absolutely, Leia. In fact, I would say, like, I wouldn't just say, okay, everyone sit at level at relic 5. Chrysanthemum needs his 9. Like, I would get Chrysanthemum to like 7 or 8, and then
Right.
start working on Boosh first and get her to 7 or 8 before you get Chrysanthemum higher.
Okay, that's fair. And then okay, so you have Lando and then whoever your fifth is. Do you default to putting Embo as the fifth personally?
I mean, I do. There are other better characters in certain circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
but in general, I like so like Boba. Everyone's gonna have relegate Boba anyways,
Right.
so he's already pre-geared if you need him. Otherwise, the other really good one with him is well, the other two good ones with him are either Gamorrean Guard or Greedo, and I mean
Mhm.
I'm being told now that Greedo is going to be the probably going to be like just by theory crafters gonna be better for that crate raid than any other
Mm,
fifth.
that's
Like
interesting.
like Greedo is the key to the Boosh or to the Jabba team.
Mhm.
That you can already beat the Sith Triumvirate raid with Jabba
Right,
if you're using Greedo.
Greedo. I use Greedo in that Smuggler's Run event, and it is awesome when he just keeps hitting over and over and over again. It's
Yeah.
very entertaining.
I keep
Um,
wondering if they're gonna give us an Omicron at some point that like
mhm.
boosts his percent chance of re-hitting. Like I
But it's like
remember
basically guaranteed.
it was like a couple of years ago at this point, probably on one of my alts. I was like, all right, I've got way better bounty hunters than my opponent. We're just gonna go in and destroy them. And their Greedo
Hmm.
got like 12 shots in a row and killed my boss, and I lost the fight and I lost the match because of Greedo. Which I mean, it's like kind of fun. I can't. I've tried to find the video of that because I'm sure the footage exists. I can't find it, and I mean, it's like I'm not really even that mad. That was kind of amazing, you know.
Hmm.
In
Because it's
theory, Greedo can kill any galactic legend, you know,
man.
except for Rey, maybe.
Um, yeah, so then I guess okay, so Chrysanthemum, then Boosh, and then I guess I would do Lando next.
Yeah,
Because he
and
hits pretty
Lando,
hard too.
he hits really hard. Yeah, especially one of the things you have to learn about that team, if you're going to use them on offense at least, is you're going to want to learn that instead of just auto defaulting to his like third special where
Yep.
he like boosts himself,
Mhm.
sometimes if you have that many stacks, it also means you can put armor shred on someone if you use his first special.
Mhm. So you
But
want to have that happen.
yeah, well, because it boosts your whole team, because everyone hitting the person with armor shred is going to have a lot easier of a time.
Hmm. Um,
Yeah,
okay.
he's
So
absolutely good. Yeah, worthy of relic 7 or 8 or something.
mhm. So was that your order?
Yeah, I feel like you just copied my Professor X order, but
I didn't
yes,
even realize that. I mean, I've known that you were doing it, but I was not paying attention to you. I copied your homework. It's fine.
that's fine. I'm Hermione in this instance.
Ah, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the order.
It's the order, and I absolutely think it's worthwhile, which is why I just got Relic 9 on Chrysanthemum on my alt. We talk about that a little bit in the
Your half.
the my initial, yeah, the original half. That makes it sound like this isn't like the real half, but yeah.
I copied your homework. Okay. Oh, and then also, I mean, I think this is just on people's minds. You'll want if you have Hut Cartel, you'll want to bump them up anyway for the raid.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, like Relic 8 is going to be the thing. Whether or not you want to get Greedo up to Relic 8 right away is you probably don't. Don't do it yet, guys. Just say no to Greedo.
Just say no for Greedo.
Do like Han did. Just say over my dead body.
Okay. Joshua French is asking, have you found that having Riva makes completing the Riva shard quest or combat mission, special mission harder?
Oh, we
Um,
can fight about this. This will be good.
yeah, because you used her, didn't you?
I've used her twice now. Yeah, especially like after you and I we didn't fight about it. We did discuss it though, because you
Mhm.
issued the thing. You were like, "Hey, like nobody use Riva to
Yeah,
help unlock Riva."
correct.
Um, yeah. So okay, tell us why you're not supposed to use Riva first.
Okay.
And I
So
think this is valid for people listening. By the way, just to be real clear, there's some solid reasoning behind this.
the the main reason is that she's tagged as a hero in territory battle. So she is going to do the exact same thing that Grand Inquisitor and Second Sister do, which is inflict a ton of thermals on
Mm-hmm.
herself. And if you have Seventh Sister in the lineup, Seventh Sister is going to take a ton on from her assisting. until you get that tenacity up from Grand Inquisitor. So if you aren't modding appropriately and familiar with the strategy to minimize your thermals, you're gonna blow your team up before
And
you
that's
get out of the first wave.
fair. So what I discovered was you're right. Like I paid way more attention this time. So you're forced to use Grand Inquisitor lead on it still.
Yeah.
Which who knows what would have happened if you could use Riva lead. I don't know.
I mean,
I haven't thought that far.
if you could use Riva lead, you would get tenacity up right away because Grand Inquisitor would get his
True.
bonus turn right away and it wouldn't even be an issue. If you
Life
could
would
use
be
her,
easy.
yeah, if you could use her lead, man, that would be amazing.
Well, I'm sorry to hear you talk about things that would be so awesome and yet will never exist. So we're gonna. So you're right. There were more thermals.
Hmm.
Like she had more, and what I discovered was it like didn't really bother her at all. Like none of them.
Right.
None. Like
Because,
it.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well, so they won't bother her because she takes reduced percent health damage, I think.
Hmm.
Um, but they will bother Seventh Sister.
Right. Well, and Seventh Sister got to just health at one
Hmm.
point. All of her protection was gone.
Hmm.
And then eventually I was able to, then you do the AOE with Grand Inquisitor, and you equalize protection and everything is
Hmm.
suddenly better. And then I don't know, maybe my guys were just modded well or something. Like they're only relic 7, so it's not like they're extra relic or something.
Hmm.
um but I did just slice through them. It was a pretty easy mission, and it didn't really, for a little bit, seeing a lot of thermals on people scared me, and then when they blew up I was like, oh, okay, well that wasn't that bad. So um that being said, I guess the thing is, so for my main account guild, it's just a free for all. Everyone just does their own thing, and I think we only failed 3, and because everyone has Riva, like some people just auto it and don't change mods and
Right.
stuff. So I think we were at 47 out of 50. So I think that adding Riva doesn't really matter. I do think that for marginal accounts that barely do it, maybe just do Grand Inquisitor, because that's a proven one. That's pretty easy. Like it's pretty much guaranteed if you know the right way to do it.
Right. And I mean, you can, so full disclosure, like I did, we did have a run in our guild where we had to use Riva. Um, and it's exactly what you said, where you are kind of tense at the beginning because you see all of the thermals happening, and then it was fine. But we also modded her so that she was dead last in our turn order, to minimize the chance of her pumping out thermals to the entire team. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. I bet that the only reason I succeeded was because of how much skill I have.
Did you hit auto?
I was tempted.
Fair.
I'm actually there's a couple people in my guild who still don't have Riva, and
Hmm.
so I am swapping mods and everything for it. So it's still, even though it's been a couple, like eventually I will just get to the point where I'm like, you know what? No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll still run the
Well,
mission, but I'm not going to swap mods for it.
and that's like in ODB as well. We have a handful of people who still don't have her. So,
Yeah, and I'll do it for those people. Like it's
hmm,
still early enough. Like not a ton of people have Riva still. So
yep, exactly.
cool. What's the
Okay.
next question?
Okay, so two more. Patrick, mad scientist. What will be more relevant or rewarding? Uh, Having a Tuskens or Dad Bod Boba squad or unaligned Force users? He's looking for a side project between GLs.
What do you
Um,
think?
well, so my question is which unaligned Force users?
I guess my initial thought was like there's not really a reason to have an UFU team unless you have Seer and Cal as
Right.
the core, kind of.
Right, if you're doing a full team of them. And then, I mean, this is interesting too because you can have a full unaligned force user team, but that's not a squad that goes to the raid, which is Tuskens would go to the raid, minus Dad Bod Boba.
Right.
And if that's a factor, then I I think the more teams you can take into the raid, the more rewarding it will be in general.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. Like, I know the Tuscans are pretty solid and
Mhm.
everything. I'm not saying that they're bad by any stretch. I also,
But also it's Tuskens.
I just, yeah, I don't care about them as much. Like, and I do think that the UFU squad will have more staying power. Like, it'll be more relevant for longer and on
Hmm.
more game modes. Even though you're right, in the current situation right now, you really do want Tuscans to be farmed and ready to go if you're going to participate in the raid. Now, if you're not going to be doing the raid that much, I don't know. I think it's possible you could maybe skip them. I'm not
Hmm.
sure about that, but if you're free to play and you can't get every single squad,
Hmm.
Tuscans look like a little bit. I mean, if you're free to play, you probably want to be participating in the raid as much as you can. But if you're in a weird situation where, you know, my alt, for instance, I'm probably not going to do the raid that much because I'm going to be doing
Right.
it on my main account. I don't. I just don't want to raid two accounts at once, and I'm not going to ask you to do it. So,
Well,
like, Tuscans take a back seat in priority level for me.
but that's kind of the interesting thing with this raid is it goes live and it stays open for the entire duration. So if which we don't know how long that's going to be yet, but if the raid is active for 48 hours, it doesn't matter if Timmy in your guild kills it because it's going to stay open anyway, so you can still get your run in.
Man, I hate Timmy so much.
But point being, you could if you really wanted to do your main and then do Professor X.
I mean, I could.
But do you want to? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
I feel heard.
uh, yeah, yeah, I think you can go either way. I would lean, so I, full disclosure, am farming the Tuscans for the raid, but in the sense of let's get them to gear somewhere between gear 10 and gear 12, and then we can park them there for the time being.
Yeah, well, there's no denying, like they have some really horrific things that they can do to people who have a lot of turn meter, to squads with lots of turn meter. Like
Hmm.
there's no denying their effectiveness on that front. I guess the big thing is like what else do they do?
Right. And how
You know,
effective will they be? Is it worthwhile to bring them up for the raid or not? Can you get by without them?
right?
And
Well,
and do
and
you care?
right, well, yeah. If you don't care about the raid, or if your guild isn't going to participate in the raid, there's lots of question marks about them. So, yes, they're a good enough squad. They are crazy expensive to gear for the at least the two Tuscans, and I don't know. I think my disdainful attitude is probably not warranted, but it's there. So, all
So
right,
take
what's
it.
next?
Okay, last one. Um, Daniel McCracken. Jedi Master Luke seems to be a heavy hitter when it comes to finishing conquest feats. So would you consider him worth more to a mid-level player, i.e., 5 to 6 million GP with a handful of GLs, versus squads like Inquisitors, Starkiller, Afra, or a second meta fleet, example Profundity?
Phew. Well, you're
Yeah.
right. The fleets are worthless for conquest. That's the
Mhm.
one game mode that fleets just like dare not enter,
Well, so and that this is where I'm like,
or the
is
raids, I
this
guess too.
yeah, is this specifically for Conquest if you're looking at Jedi Master Luke or in general? Um,
Right.
because if it's specifically for Conquest, then yes, Jedi Master Luke is worth more. If you're looking overall, I would probably get the fleet first and then get Jedi Master Luke.
Yeah, it's hard to ignore the fleet situation.
Yeah.
It's also tough for me to ignore like Starkiller is just really good.
He is. Um, but Jedi Master Luke is a heavy hitter when it comes to finishing conquest feats.
I mean, you can't deny that. It's just really, really
It's
strong.
it's insane. Like there your man, I can't even remember what gear your Cal is on Professor X. Gear 1, gear 3. I think he's gear 1. I don't think I put any gear on him.
I didn't put any gear on him.
I'm
It's
pretty
like
sure he's gear 1 and you can get kills with him.
we're like the Naboo fighter squadron in episode 1. They're like, the ship's blowing up, but they're like, we didn't hit it. They like don't even take credit for their enemy's demise. Like, it wasn't us.
Yeah, but Jedi Master Luke just makes things happen.
He is fantastic in that. Like I'm a little bit off of how awesome he is, just because he frustrates me in terms of like his PvP. It just
Right.
like he needs a lifter real bad. But yeah, you're right. In Conquest, there's not a more valuable galactic legend, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely not. So I would
Definitely, maybe
def
not.
definitely maybe not. But yes, I would 100% prioritize. Let's ignore the fleet aspect of this. I would prioritize him over Inquisitor, Starkiller, definitely over Afra.
Definitely over Afra. That
If you were to order those other squads, I would do Inquisitors first, then Starkiller. Only because at least with the Inquisitors, the requirements are going on the team.
Sure. I mean that is nice. You're gonna kick one person off every time you add a new better
Yeah,
one. But
true. But yeah.
yeah, I just like Star Killer. Damn it all. For
I
like
don't
mid
blame you.
game, he's very good. But so I'll just say this: get all of them. How about that?
Except Afra. You probably don't need Afra.
No, just ignore Afra. Who cares about Afra?
Okay, that's all the questions.
Okay, so let's go talk about a character.
Yeah, we can review character. How much time do we have?
In theory, we have 7 minutes total
Okay.
left, but
All right. We're doing good then.
we're doing grand.
Okay. So we thought it would be fitting to review a Wookiee.
Yeah, which he doesn't have the Wookiee tag yet. Maybe tomorrow, when they give us the update, we'll get the Wookiee tag.
Right, which is actually today when this airs is available.
Right. Well, when mine is available, who knows if you'll remember to post it on the right day. But wow, that was some unintended
Wow.
shade, unplanned
Wow.
shade.
I did it one time.
I know. I'm still holding on to it. Gosh,
Man,
I wasn't even mad when it happened.
I
It's
can't even
like,
live it down. Oh man.
all right, so you're right. So let's talk about Zalbar.
Okay.
What do you know about Zalbar? Big Z.
I know that he does armor shred
How does he do armor shred?
on his special,
Okay,
but
that's
it's contingent on something.
true.
Uh, right.
It
Critical hit.
is.
Critical hit. He inflicts armor shred.
Yeah,
So on the target enemy. Oh yeah, because this is his AoE, and then he taunts.
yeah. It's actually fair. It's like, oh yeah, I could target, or I could armor shred someone. What's his crit chance, by the way? Could we just look at that real quick? I actually have no idea. I've never prioritized crit chance on him.
We should just. I'm going before we judge my Zalbar. He's a storage locker for me currently.
No, yeah, I just want to see like,
Okay.
yeah, no judgment.
You're saying that, but I don't believe you. Crit
Why
chance.
is he
Crit
so
chance.
slow? Just kidding. Okay, so yeah, he doesn't have much crit chance. I don't
No.
even. I'm guessing it is physical damage. Like he does negligible damage. Usually, when you use him, if
Mm,
people take Zalbar, like you get him because of his indirect taunt, or
right.
it's not the right word for it, but Yeah, the taunt that happens passive. That's the right word. He passively taunts, and then if he gets armor shred, sometimes that's great. Sometimes you take mission with him, and she's the one who does real damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or he's just safeguarding someone awesome, and they're the ones who do the real damage.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so crit chance isn't high. That's fine. So what else do you know about him?
That's about it. I know he has an interaction with mission, uh, but I don't remember what it is because my mission is like gear 8.
Really?
Do you want to go look?
No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure she's super low. She's definitely purple.
Yeah, I guess the thing that confuses me, I'd assumed that you have to have at least like gear 11 to like beat Malek, but I don't really remember that well. So,
I mean, she might be gear 11.
like, I'm not trying to fight you on this. I'm just
I
having
say
a crisis
everyone.
of memory.
I say everyone is gear 8 if they are purple on my roster. So she's purple.
Okay, she's like blue actually, but
She's indigo. Um,
Okay. All right, fair enough. So he's got a couple good uniques though.
okay, which one do you want to look at first?
Probably the toughness one
Okay.
is my guess. So it's kind of funny how this is what kits used to be. They used to be so simple.
This is one sentence.
I know.
Man.
He has 20% defense stacking each time he takes damage from an attack for 1 turn, which, I mean, that goes hand in hand with
Mhm.
Tarful.
This is why he's so annoying to kill. Okay.
Right, like eventually, I've had times where I've killed his whole team and then almost timed out with like Mon Mothma because every time you hit him, so every time he's getting 100% more defense, and it's like, oh my gosh, please take a turn because I literally can't do any damage. Everyone's doing like 50, 47, 33
No.
per
Yeah,
hit.
and there's no max on this. It just is stacking.
Right, and then he takes a turn, and then you're like, oh, and then he died instantly.
Man, ridiculous. Okay, so straightforward. This is his mission interaction. Um, crit void.
Yeah, which is actually not great for Tarful because he wants people to be crit so he can get turn
Mhm.
meter. If mission is present, she gains that bonus. Cool. When any other ally, yeah, this is the reason people take Zalbar because of the
Mhm.
passive taunt because it's so disruptive. When any other ally falls below 100% health, Zalbar gains taunt and retribution for 2 turns.
Mhm.
Yeah, that passive taunt is just so strong. I mean, and there's just no limit to it. It's like, okay, so your character falls to 99% health, he taunts, and then your opponent fights you for a while, hits Zalbar, and meanwhile that character regrows some protection.
Mhm.
But just like he's up to like 2% protection, then you hit the protection down, and suddenly Zalbar's taunting again. Like it's just so obnoxious and good.
Just keeps coming back.
Right.
Uh,
So one of the things you really want to look at for him,
mhm.
I used to like tenacity on him because then you can't get crit avoid or crit immunity on him.
Mm.
So then if you get crit immunity on him, then it's game over because he passively taunts, but it can't gain taunt
Okay, I see what you mean.
because
The
he
crit,
has not crit uh,
oh,
buff
buff
immunity is I
immunity.
think buff immunity is what I was trying to say. I said it wrong.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, because then he's just gonna do nothing.
Right, like he's immune to buff, so he can't taunt. And like what good is a Wookiee that won't taunt, that won't take bullets for you?
It's got dark.
I know, I
Ugh.
know. It's so sad. Like they're like this really intelligent, awesome species, and they're just kind of pets in all the different media.
Yeah,
Like it. You go to Kashyyyk, and it's just like a world of pets. It's very sad.
oh man. Um,
So
yeah, so this is his passive taunt. And then he just really has his basic. Does he debuff or anything?
yeah, it does
Damage over
dots.
time. That's right. That is right.
He heals
Ooh,
himself for it too.
okay. This is such a
Yeah,
basic, straightforward kit.
I know.
Man. And I feel like he's gonna get some more glory with Tarful.
I think like you can tell that they really thought about trying to include Zalbar here because he's like he gets damage for all the defense he's gaining, and
Hmm.
there's no limit to how much defense he can gain.
Right.
He's like double dipping in fact because of Tarful's kit doing awesome stuff for his defense as well. Like this
Hmm.
Zalbar is going to be pretty gross. Like I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a bunch, at least at the top level, like people putting Relic 9 on Zalbar, frankly,
Oh,
because he's a tank.
yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be gross.
Yeah, Relic 9, your Wookiees, folks. Just kidding. I don't care if you do. Except for
Just kidding.
Chrysanthemum. Do it to Chrysanthemum. Alright, should we
Okay.
roast a roster? We're 1 minute overdue how long this video is supposed to last, but
All right. Let's pull this up and we can do a quick roster roast before someone starts screaming at us.
alright. We'll tell him we're gonna roast your roster. Just kidding. I couldn't do that, man. He's just too sweet.
Oh,
There's a
good.
reason he's my
Good.
co-host.
That's exactly it. Okay. Um, Grand Admiral Wicket.
Um, it would be more convincing if you had Ewoks in your arena squad.
It would be fair. So I should say the bit that was posted with his or their roster said that it is roast proof. So,
Oh, like it's like a really awesome,
hmm
really streamlined roster. Okay,
hmm
I mean there actually are a few really really nice rosters out there. So the fact that he is pretty proud of his roster is interesting though. Like okay, so 4-star profundity. I mean,
hmm
yeah, like what could be roasted about that?
right. Do you want to see his GP?
Yeah.
Their GP?
Mm-hmm.
8 million.
And that's roast proof. Like
Roast
you
proof.
you have a pretty big roster, and like you haven't even bothered to get profundity past 4 stars. Like okay, that's cool. It's very convincing so far.
You want to see the ships then?
He's in Erodium 2, and he's less than 1 million away from my alt, who's in Kyber 2.
I
Yeah,
was waiting
let's
for
look at
the
ships.
Erodium. I was waiting for the acknowledgement of Erodium.
I mean, 8 million to be stuck in Erodium 2 is okay. Let's see what else he's got.
All right. All right. Okay. So all of the capital ships, but they apparently are not done.
Oh, yeah, I have to resize this just a little bit. Yeah, okay. So he
Five
has
star
Executor at least.
and a 5-star finalizer and a 6-star Radis and a 4-star profundity.
Okay, well,
Okay. Okay. Good to know. So no
not
Ray
really.
or no Ray or Kylo then.
Correct. Yeah, that means they can't have him,
Hmm.
which is
Okay.
potentially fine.
Whoa. That Sith fighter is hurting. That
Yeah.
is not looking good for Leviathan.
Yep. Leviathan ready? Check no.
Yikes.
All right.
Yikes.
You don't have Iden worked on at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay. For some reason you have Echelon farmed, but okay. But it's a really bad echelon. Good.
Hmm.
Plo
Okay.
is low relic. Um, oh good. He finally got. He farmed a couple things. It's good.
Some pilotless ones.
Look at that sad Sabine on Phantom.
Okay.
I agree, little guy. That
You
thing
agree?
is. Cassian's ship is one of the highest that they have. Wow. Yeah, this roster's making me cry already too.
Do you want to see Datacrons?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, that's that.
There's some Datacrons.
There's the Datacrons. I know, Jasper. One
All right.
second. Okay. So 3 GLs.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, should I sort by speed?
Yeah, let's do the 300 game.
We'll play the 300 game.
If
I know.
little man will let us at least. Look at the baby Lord Vader hanging
Oh, 4 GLs.
out. Okay, that's cute.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, okay, let's just keep scrolling down. Let's see what degree of failure we're looking at here. Maybe he has really impressive mods. So far, these are all characters. Yeah, okay, so you kind of want Han
You want?
to be like 300-ish speed if you can. Okay. Keep going, I guess. Hold on, did we already pass Piet? Was he above this?
I think we did. Yeah, he's beside baby Lord Vader.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well. Okay. Keep going then.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like Han should definitely be 300, but I want to say it's gonna be. Okay, hang on. Boston Griefer clocked, it looks like.
Maybe.
Let's say Quill.
Okay, so Queel is 300, but Dash is not.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be a little bit more charitable. I think Armorer is 300.
You think Armor is 300? Okay, let's check Armor then.
Okay, let's see. Oh gosh, this is not
Oh,
looking
boy.
good.
Oh, okay.
all right.
306. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so where does the line end then?
Yeah. So let's see what Dark Basti is. I know, buddy. I know. 304.
All right.
Dang. Start.
All right, folks. So, clearly this roster has upset the baby, and I don't blame that. That's the ultimate condemnation, to be honest. So,
Making the baby cry.
yeah, it's looks like they've misappropriated some mods. Like some of them are kind of fast, but like why make Basti so fast? That being said, should we just call it? Like,
Yeah. And we'll come back next week.
yeah, guys, we'll see you next week, I suppose.
We will.